Aha!
Yeah.
We're now not only on the air talking to you, we're recording ourselves. Welcome.
To Ahah, a human among humans.
How's that going for you? Feeling human lately?
Feeling human lately? So.
Oh, want to explain? The inquiry minds want to know. Lloyd wants to know. Elizabeth, Gail.
Oh.
Yes, you want to?
Oh. Oh. Why do why do people in power not make humanitarian decisions? That is the question.
There's a famous.
So it makes me feel less than human when I live amongst
The powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
One very great historian said that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you have real power, like Obama,
Mm-hmm.
now it was so hard to get the administration maybe to admit they won't kill American citizens on American soil without a trial. Just send a little drone if you don't say the right thing, like this. Right now, this could be my last statement to the world, because the Obama administration certainly has killed Americans overseas without a trial, including a 16-year-old boy. And that must be very bad. And now there's new drones.
And how did that happen?
They said it was an accident, but they first killed his father intentionally. He was an American citizen too.
And why
They thought
would
his father had written about jihad, which is the Islamic holy war against the West in America.
I see.
And so they wanted to kill him. They thought he was encouraging people to kill Americans. But we in America believe in trial by jury. Not someone with power that can say, I can send a drone and just take him out. And then they took out his son, supposedly by mistake. 16-year-old son, another American citizen.
Wow.
And now, in today's New York Times, one of the op-ed writers, Bill Keller, wrote about there's now drones that don't even need anybody to pilot them. They're like robots, and if they see suspicious activity, like two people on television talking about drones, bam, without even, they just hear the word, the program, hear the word drone, no, bam, you're gone. Which brings us to the topic for today, death and what it can do for you. We have with us one of the world's leading hospice nurses. Very humble. Probably has trouble acknowledging the truth of that. You might really be true. Right? You care for your people, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So could you, if you would like to, and if you could you tell us an experience with someone dying and how you helped them get to heaven?
How I helped them get to
You can forget the second part.
Wow, okay. I guess something that comes to mind is there was a man who was dying and his wife was sitting next to him, and which sometimes happens, there sometimes is just this random kind of reaching out. Minimally responsive and not calm. So, well, yeah, although there's a little more.
Like that?
The head isn't moving. It's more the arms are moving. Well, and often they stay up in the air. Yeah, and so you think that this might not be comfortable to do hours on end, having your arms up in the air.
And they're lying in bed when this is happening.
Yes, yep. And there seemed to be kind of some tension maybe in the face a little bit. And when I came in the room, the wife had told me that earlier that Reiki had seemed to help, and which made me very interested because I do offer Reiki. I'm trained in Reiki, and so I said, "Would you like me to?"
And maybe you tell our audience what Reiki is.
Reiki is a Japanese hands-on healing. It's an energy healing. And so between touch and sharing of energy, which in particular it's a lineage of a man who had an inquiry about how did Jesus heal. So he sat on a mountain and had that inquiry, and what came to him was that it was hands-on healing, and he had a series of symbols as well. So this is the technique that is passed down.
And you do the symbols on people, right? You just write the
Well,
symbols
you imagine the symbols in your
I need help
mind.
already if I have to stand like this any
yes.
longer.
So the wife said Reiki had helped, and
Thank
which
God.
piqued my
Help.
interest. So
Help.
I said, "I would.
Get
Would
these
you like
hands
me
down.
to? Would you
Get
like me
these
to
hands
do
down.
Reiki?"
Help me. Help.
So I put my hands on, and it was interesting. He had 9 children, and several of them were sleeping around. So I tried to imagine. I felt a lot of tension in what I imagined to be anxiety, and I tried to put myself in his shoes and imagine having to leave his children and his wife.
Wow.
And
How old am I?
All the anxiety.
How old am I now?
Well, if he had teenage children, probably in his maybe 60 or 50.
Wow. What am I dying of?
Gosh, pancreatic cancer.
Oh my, it goes quick.
Yeah.
My father died of it in 6 months.
Hmm.
Doctor said you have 6 months to live, and it was 6 months.
Yes. Yeah. I know someone had a year, but. Yeah. So lo and behold, as I did that, his arms came down, and not only did they come down, they went right on his heart. And he just had a more at ease expression. And me and his wife just looked at each other, and she said, "We're Catholic. Normally we don't believe in this."
The Catholic Church actually said Reiki is prohibited.
Oh, they do say Reiki's prohibited?
Yes, yep.
Okay. But she did thank me for it.
Oh, my.
And I
Wouldn't
think
you like this nurse in your home? If you feel like you're dying, you can call Cece. We're not allowed to advertise, so we can't do that. But she would come as free, just as a,
I don't think so.
You wouldn't come free, no.
It depends
No.
what's going on.
A friend. Maybe if I'm dying, maybe.
Yeah, right.
So my hand is on my heart, yes?
Yeah,
Feels,
and-
oh, you helped.
a little more peace.
Does that
Yeah.
must feel very good, yes?
To me, how about to you?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
When I taught poetry to people at a senior center, I feel that when they died, they would look after me. And look, they helped me meet you. See that beautiful woman go. I once kissed. I was taking care of a woman who was living in one room with a little dog, and it was smelly, and I was hired by an Israeli who had helped her across the street, and then his stock started going up in the stock market, and he told her, and she said, "That's because you've been kind to me." So he started taking care of her, and when he went to Israel, he hired me for $15 a visit to go and open a can of tuna fish for her and for her dog.
Oh.
And I go every day.
Mm.
Her name is Lila. She was in a motion picture once.
Mm.
I think the motion picture is called, Death in the Family.
Mm.
Something like that.
Mm.
By James Agee.
Mm.
And I'm visiting my one time a day only. And she's coughing. And for some reason, because people are called to do things, I lean over and I give her a kiss in the lips. And yes, yes, I was really scared because I thought I was getting pneumonia.
You thought you were getting
I thought I
pneumonia?
was going to get sick.
Oh.
But I did.
But
Did
you
it.
still gave her a
did
kiss.
it. And the next time I came, the medics were there and she was dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So I think Lila is around still. Hi, Lila.
Mm.
I really think that sometimes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a certain humorous way of thinking it, but I would. Why not?
Well, if I was Lila, that felt like a very special moment.
Yes.
Very, very special, as long as I felt comfortable.
You had to die with this young kid. This young kid coming and giving you a kiss goodbye.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's my claim to fame.
Yeah.
God, please forgive me for my
Yeah.
manifold sins, because I gave Lila a kiss.
Yeah. What was occurring to me was remembering not too long ago that I was at the harvest, and I overheard a conversation where the person in line said to the teller, and this was a line that you say, but this was not you, it was someone else that said this. And they said, "How come you're so happy?" And
To the cashier?
Yeah, she was like a smiley. And she said, "This is how I'm going to die." And she acted it out. She goes, smiling.
When I was doing the poetry, a lot of the people who believed in God and the afterlife, I thought, were trapped. They knew they were supposed to believe that they were going to go somewhere else. But all their feelings, this is my story, I'm not saying this is true.
When was this your story?
This was when I came from Israel. This was in the middle 1970s. I was doing it for $15 a visit, biking all the way to Cleveland Circle and back. And $15 was paying almost for my whole month's rent, living with it. MIT students in Inman Square and rent control.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So it was a good job for me.
Oh.
And the people that were supposedly believing in God, which I did in an afterlife, they seemed trapped. Because all their experience didn't seem to go along with what they were supposed to believe. They felt, that they were getting old and dying.
And can you put this in context, when you were, is this when you were teaching the poetry class to the older people?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cleveland Circle at a senior center.
So, and the title of it was, of the class?
Maybe, I taught one class called Facing Death and Living.
Uh-huh.
This might not have been the one, or it might have just been helping them write poetry and reading and writing poetry.
So you found out that some of them had this belief in the afterlife, and you...
But it seemed to hurt them rather than help them.
Oh.
Because they seemed to, in their minds, been told that there's an afterlife, but they didn't feel any of that. They felt they were dying. And so it was a disconnect between what they believed and what they were feeling. Whereas there was one woman, and she was beaming like your cashier, and she said, "I don't know what's going to happen. Life's full of surprises. We'll see." And she seemed to be better equipped to die than the people who were told to believe in a certain way. This is my understanding of it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a different thing when you're told to believe than when you are infused. You have some sort of experience that you're living from, I guess. Yeah.
My friend Chuck just died this week. And he believed. And I think it helped him.
Believed in an afterlife?
Yes.
And in particular?
Yes. And I think that helped him a lot.
In particular what?
What kind of afterlife?
Yeah.
Like where he'd be living, or what would you like to know? What would you like to know?
Well, did he share anything about?
He didn't have any experiences, no.
I
This is
mean,
more beliefs.
he believed in an afterlife.
Yes, this is a
Okay.
Jewish belief.
Okay.
Jewish belief is that there's, in the Hasidic tradition, it's like the Indians. It's reincarnation. You keep going around and around and around.
Oh, Jewish Hasidic believes
Yes.
in reincarnation.
The only difference between
Oh.
the Jews and the Hindus, the Hasidic Jews don't believe that you can be an animal. You are only humans.
Oh, yeah. That sounds nice and neat.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a little sad. Some of us might want to be a kitty cat and have a little
Uh-huh.
break from this reincarnation. I think I'd like to be a cat for 20 years, and then I'll come back and try humanity again, but not in the Hasidic tradition.
Huh. So, and you think that helped him?
Yes, that definitely helped.
Oh, yes. Anything come to mind in how you knew that it helped him?
I asked him.
Oh.
I said, are you looking forward to dying because you believe in the afterlife? He said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, what did he learn from this life?
Mm-hmm.
He said, nothing.
Mm.
He was a great teacher. And at that moment, there was nothing. Because I guess he was feeling, not... If you get me in a bad mood, what have you learned? When you're really down.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the team leaders that I work with has talked with families and shared how being born is not easy, and that dying often is also not easy.
And the stuff in between isn't very easy either. It's just one. One writer, Dorothy Parker, said, this is not a nice thing to say, but we owe you the truth. Dorothy Parker said, life is not one damn thing after another.
It's just one damn thing.
It's just one damn thing.
Yeah.
And that's not true, though. People are starting to wish me and other people, may this be your best day ever. I love that. So may this be your best day ever. May this be the best television show you've ever seen. Isn't that nice? Even the day you die, yes. May this be your best. Boy, I wonder if that would be
So what are some positive experiences from people who have died?
Positive for
Yes.
them, you mean, or for us
Yeah.
helpers?
But probably both, huh? It's hard to say. I think of my step-grandfather who wanted to live at home, and he lived in a trailer in Florida, like outside of Orlando. Just a trailer park, and so he had prostate cancer, actually. This is my step-grandfather. So he married my father's mother later in life.
Oh, my.
But he was very close with my father because they would come and spend the summers and park their traveling motorhome at my father's place, the power equipment shop.
Yes.
And they would live there for the summer in their camper in the parking lot next to my father's
Just like your
shop.
father. Your father
What
was the
my
same
father
thing.
does, yes.
And
Yeah.
so does your stepfather. That's in the family. Why are you staying in Cambridgeport? I can see what your future holds.
Yeah, they had a simple life. They would set out their chairs out. They had a cabana, and they would sit their chairs out of their
So your
camper.
father's
But
mother was happily remarried to him?
yes.
Oh, my.
Yep.
Same as mine, yes.
Yep. So she was a difficult person, and he was an angel.
Yes.
And he was an angel that came into her life that her previous husbands were not.
My,
And
that's nice.
to put
How
up
old was she when she met
with
him?
her.
How old was she when she met
For my
him?
impression was he did love her, and he was an angel.
How
And-
old was she when they met?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe Yeah, that's a really good
We
question.
have to get your father on the show to.
Yeah, we'll have to
So,
find
but
out.
your dad's a good guy, so
So-
he must have been a decent father.
So they would come up and they would eat dinner
Yep.
upstairs.
Oh, and
with
you knew
my-
them.
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was his
Um,
name?
Donald.
Donald, meaning world ruler. Go on.
I didn't fully connect
Yeah.
with them, but certainly they were in my life, and
Oh,
he
she
was
wasn't a
he was
doting.
good
She
guy.
wasn't a doting grandmother. And,
No, she
"I
was.
love you,
Well,
Dad."
she always liked to make me things, but there were things like she made me. I was into wearing Levi's and Adidas T-shirts, and she got me a knit dress.
Oh, so she wasn't tuned in. to
She
what you
wasn't
wanted.
tuned in. No, not at all. So, but so my dad really got to know him because he worked for my dad.
Oh my.
And it meant a lot, I think, to both of them.
Yeah.
It gave, yeah. And he worked hard. He was a hard worker.
Yeah.
And he was a welder, I think, going through life. But he was a manual labor type of, did for a job. And so his wife died many years before he did. And that was hard. She died of lung cancer. And
Your grandmother?
yeah, my grandmother died
right.
of lung cancer in the trailer next to
Yep.
the house. I saw her.
She was a smoker?
She was a smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her name?
And Gladys.
Hmm.
I won't go on.
Yes.
But
Isn't that the name of a flower? Is it Gladys a flower? No.
we used to call her Happy Bottom, Gladass. I know that's not
No wonder she died.
particularly.
Do you feel particularly morally responsible for her death?
Oh, as you get older, you get different perspectives. But so, anyways, he wanted to die at home, and we flew down. We could tell my dad would call him regularly, and he was worried about him. So me, my dad, and Ginny flew down to Orlando.
Ginny is
My stepmother.
your dad's second wife. Yeah.
Yeah. And because my brother had been out to visit him a few times too. And he was getting closer, and he was living alone. And he had lost a lot of weight. And he was at the point when we visited him in his trailer that he really could hardly move from the chair. So he had the chair and the bed, and I think he couldn't move. So we got him hooked up with hospice care in that brief visit that we were down there, which was a feat because he didn't want much help. I'm not exactly clear about all this, but we came at the right time, and in some ways it's easy to think that maybe he wasn't safe living on his own, but I think from perspectives of helping the elderly, that I have a lot more respect for that these decisions are more important than people's safety. Sometimes you have to really weigh what is most important to them. And I think when people are, I think that sometimes you have to have respect for that's the most important thing.
Because what would happen
And if we had put him in a nursing home?
No, if he stays there, then he might get too weak to get food.
Yeah.
But that would be
that's what was happening.
That could be okay, though. He could die. Maybe that's
Well,
not
it depends
pleasant
on
way to
if
die,
it's
huh?
okay. Well, yeah, you hope that that's not going to happen, but but we did get him hooked up with some services, and he was able to die at home.
Oh my! With people
And-
coming in too. Yes,
yeah.
that's very nice.
Yeah, and so I think that was meaningful. What was meaningful for him, I think, was to die at home. But it also was, I was really touched to see my dad's compassionate response to flying down there and wanting to help him out.
And helping him out. This must be why you went
Yeah.
into hospice.
That isn't the reason, but Um, no, I read a book about a Buddhist monk,
Yes.
and so I liked the elegance of service and kind of a sacredness
Oh.
to doing that sort of practice and work and presence, how presence actually helped people pass.
Yes.
So I had felt like I had that to offer because I was doing a lot of meditation. So, but I think we're at time.
We're at time. Time flies when you're having fun, and no one's. So you're welcome to. No one's watching now. Only the recording is watching.
All right.
We're gonna be. We're gonna be on for another. We're taking Lloyd's show too. At least I am.
Actually, there's a 7:30 now.
Say-
Well, just for today, there's a 7:30 slot.
Oh,
Tim
someone took it?
actually, yeah, Tim's gonna take the 7:30.
Oh, Lloyd called us
Oh.
to tell us we had it, but
Really?
I guess not, huh?
Yeah, something went wrong with the show kind of at the last second, and so he wanted to just redo it at the earliest time. So we told him 7:30 would be that time or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it goes. We had lots more to say, but
Do you?
Well, we can do it again another time.
yes.
We'll remember.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.